Very good morning to you. I'm Nick the Moose Batsford, Commander-in-Chief, TipTV.co.uk. It's 8 a.m. We are here 8 o'clock every morning for 30 minutes covering foreign exchange markets in association with our trading partners, TradeNext.
Good morning. I'm Steve Woodcock from TradeNext. This is our early morning show in association with TipTV. I have been in the foreign exchange markets now for 30 years. The markets are moving. Let's see if we can get some money out of these markets.
And a very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is tiptv.co.uk. My name is Nick Batsford, and this is the first of hopefully many morning shows at 8 a.m. sponsored by TradeNext. If you're watching this, we've not announced this to the world, so this is effectively a trial run. With me this morning, we've got Zach Meir, the editor of Spreadbet magazine, amongst other things. Morning to you, Zach.
Morning.
And we've got Stephen Woodcock, the head of trading at TradeNext. Morning to you, Stephen.
Morning.
Okay, so obviously we're going to make mistakes because this is our first one today. My train got cancelled this morning just to kick the day off. This is going to be a 30-minute wrap on a daily basis. Stephen, you've agreed you're going to come in twice a week. I think the important thing about trading is, all right, obviously it takes years and years of experience to become a decent trader, and we were watching that, we were commenting on that trading show last night, and you know, the guys had, you know, the trading systems, the trading rooms, and they're trading at pounds per pip and everything, but it's preparation, isn't it? I always think, you know, the day starts, you've got to have a good night's sleep, you've got to be, you know, almost kissing the guns first thing in the morning and raring to go.
Well, yeah, I suppose that would be the perfect preparation, but I think, you know, we've been in this business for so long now. How many nights were we out till quite late with customers and things like that? And obviously you go into the office not probably in the best kind of mood for trading, but you do it, don't you? That's what we do in the city. We all work hard, all turn up and all perform. And
when we talk about the late nights, there's certainly an argument, I think, that I did some of my best with, dare I say, a hangover, because your concentration's that much better.
Yeah. I mean, you had to, didn't you? Because, like you say, that was our mentality. And I've got to admit, I don't know whether it's like that now. It certainly isn't like that for me. I'm a bit older now.
Likewise.
I'm tucked up in bed now,
yeah.
or asleep on the sofa.
Chocolate.
Yeah. But no, certainly I'm more prepared, if you like, for the markets. But whether that actually does give me a better trading ability, I'm not too sure.
Right.
Like you say, a lot of it as well is when you're out with your colleagues, and it's all team building, isn't it? And then you bounce off each other in the morning, you have ideas and stuff like that. And I think, you know, in the older times, shall I say, there were more people in the room, more ideas, whereas these days I think people are more insular now. I think people do sit down.
But in terms of being insular, if I sit at home and day trade, and or I'm in a trading arcade, obviously I get that football team atmosphere in the arcades, but when I'm sitting at home, right, and I'm not seeing flow and I'm not bouncing ideas off people, doesn't that make the job that much more difficult?
I would have said so, yeah. I've done it myself. I've sat at home and trade. I know quite a few people have as well, but for me, it wasn't the right environment. It really, like you say, you've got time to study every single chart there is, read every piece of information that's available to you. But what I think you do need, if you've got people around you that, like I say, it's all about ideas, and if someone opposite you has got the total opposite idea to you, then you have a proper conversation. You can maybe find the pitfalls in your idea.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it definitely, like I say, I think I lasted about 6 weeks trading at home. And my wife would be popping in just as numbers are coming out. Oh, can you take me down the shop?
Yeah, just have a non-farm payroll.
You're not doing anything. Yeah. Of course I'm not. You know, I'm just sitting staring at the screen, aren't I? You know, but no, for me, it wasn't the right trading environment. If people can do it, then good luck to them, you know, but for me, certainly wasn't right.
Okay. So, Zach, this is the first screen that we're going to go through on a daily basis.
Yeah,
I
think this is the best structure as far as I'm concerned, because you can just basically see from top to bottom the rising and falling markets here. It's the commodities, the major commodities, the major crosses, and the major indices on one page. If you can see there at the top, we've got Brent up 0.5%, and at the bottom you've got the Nasdaq, which was down nearly 1% last night. If you notice there, the FTSE's now down 0.5% already. That's around sort of 30 30, 40 points. Obviously, the Tesco situation is not helping it very much. But towards the top of the pile there, we've got the Aussie up 0.25%, just around the 89 level, and probably euro pound as well, sort of also looking a little bit stronger as well. But I suppose the main features there, really, the commodities a bit stronger overnight, presumably off the back of Chinese data.
Yeah, which came in at 50.5, Steve.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, just slightly better than expected, and but data out of China lately hasn't been that great, has it? So that's the first.
How
one we've had.
sensitive are we as traders to the Chinese data?
Well, obviously on the overnight market, Australian dollar, as Zach just said, has rallied slightly. It's actually quite good touching on the Australian dollar, really, because it's in a big downtrend. I think we see the Aussie go much lower, we are sensitive to it overnight, but sometimes obviously we come in European hours, and unless the market's been a massive miss, then maybe no, we don't do too much about it. But certainly overnight it's a mover overnight, and you see them gapping in the Aussie and the one and stuff like that. It's not a market to be on the wrong side of when it does go wrong.
Right. Further weakness ahead.
I've just put the 30-minute chart just to get a bit of the mechanics. I mean, I don't know what do you intraday? I mean, like it's the open in the morning. What are you looking at the intraday charts? I'm looking basically all day long. I look at 5-minute, 15, hourly, and daily. I look at 4 charts on each currency I look at. I don't just look at that chart and go, crikey, it's going up. I'll quickly scan through my other charts as well, just to see all 4 charts.
So you're looking at the 5-minute,
15, hourly, daily.
So that's the first TipTV tip, okay? They're the suggested time frames for intraday trading.
Of course, yeah. It's one of those things where you sometimes you get so glued to like your. I mean, I know people that trade off tick charts and 1-minute charts and stuff like that. That's just a little bit too short for me. Okay. And also as well, that's if they're trying to nick 0.2 of a pip and 0.5 of a pip, all these HF traders and stuff like this.
Yeah.
For me, that's not my style of trading. I'm not knocking it. If people make money from it, then that's great.
Right.
But for me, no, I tend to go just slightly. Trades I get into generally. I'm sitting there on trades generally for 2 or 3 hours, something like that, maybe.
In terms of your risk reward, are you risking 1 to make 3? Are you risking 1 to make 2?
Yeah, probably 1 to 3, I'd say is probably it. And but obviously it can change. You get into a position. I'm not against getting into a position and then 30 seconds later looking at, like say, seeing something else and go, oh no, I'm wrong. Get out. Yep. It's not all. Right, I'm in this. Here we go.
You're not married to your positions?
No, not married to my positions at all. I've got to. You've got to keep an open mind, and I've said it on here before. I try not to go in the mornings with any kind of view. I let the charts try and tell me what I've got to do.
So you wouldn't look at the Financial Times, okay, and get a picture in your brain before the trading. You'll just go in and look at the roadmaps.
No, I do that. I do, like you say, I read articles on my way in, and when I first get in, I'm listening to news and stuff like that. But I always say, if you're forming a view and you're saying, right, cable's going up.
Yep.
Yeah. So generally, if in your brain you've got right cable's going up, you won't sell it. Yeah, you won't. You'll buy the dips and you'll look to sell it. Your position. But generally, you won't sell any rally. So you're taking 50% of your trade making chances away. So I'd just say keep an open mind when you first come in the morning. Yeah, you're reading the news and in your head you are forming that this is going up, that's going down. But don't say right that's all it's going to do, because during that move there'll be it'll move up and down, and if you're only trading one way, that's 50% of your money making chances out the window. And you know how hard it is anyway. I don't know what the percentage is in the first place, but obviously that cuts that way enough.
So is there anything else on the leaderboard that's of particular interest to you right now? Because you have called the markets unbelievably well since the inception of TipTV.
I think Euro Sterling, like I mentioned, after the vote on Thursday, I think it's due a relief rally.
Okay.
And I can, the chart all day yesterday I sat there thinking it was going to, maybe have a little bit of a move higher. It was trying, but it couldn't quite make it. But I do think we will see that Euro Sterling maybe trade back towards 80 again. Obviously, we've got this.
And is that a gut feel? Is that a?
Yeah, it's mainly gut feel. But I like that pattern that's on the chart at the moment. we've not come towards not come right to the lows, the previous lows. There's a small double bottom in place there. We're touching on, that 65 area, which did have some support on the way down. It's just we've got this Tesco news in going on at the moment.
Well, I've just got to say on the Tesco's point, right? I can't wait to tell the bank manager I got it a bit wrong, all right? How are you out by 250 million quid in this day and age? In the advent of computerisation, and then they're saying overnight, well, actually, might be more.
Well, I think with the suspensions, I think obviously something's not right there, is there? There's something gone wrong.
But that's a toe in the water, 250 million. There's going to be much more.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair to you, Zach, you said at £3, right? These are going to 240.
Yeah, well, actually, no, but the thing is, I would be more bearish, but you feel wrong being so cruel to Tesco. You see what I mean? Because it's just such a stock market darling. If you say anything lower than that, I mean, if I said anything worse than that, people are like, sort of running after you with a machete.
Of course.
You have that sort of thing with a market like that, and that's a lot of the time. And people, you have a view in a market which you've got from experience, but actually, if you tell people generally, I think the pound is going to go to 140, or it's going to do something, the biggest moves, or gold is going to go down to $800. So many people be so upset.
Yeah.
You have to sort of like temper it and say that. Yeah. But I basically, since the 2012 warning, the first one, it looked as though it was the end of an era, and it really has been like that. I mean, I think you had the same view as well.
Well, it's quite funny actually. I got a friend going to Australia today for 3 months. Went out for a beer with him last night. He's a fireman. And he was talking to me about Tesco's.
Love it.
And and it's because the information's out there now. And he had an opinion on it. But yeah, it's like you say. I suppose it is a bit of a darling. Mum's at home.
Spend
it's Tesco's,
£1 in every 8 is spent in Tesco's.
But everybody says when it dips, they say I'm going to buy it because it's going to be good for the long haul. And actually, for the last 2 years, it's been really bad.
Profits warnings.
It's been really bad. For you. You would have bought at £4, so
that's
now
right.
You're halfway. You've lost half your money in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's not good for the long haul.
That's right.
That's the problem with the buy and hold. The mentality. I mean,
but I think obviously I know they're very diverse in what they do, but I remember 2 or 3 years ago seeing a headline, Tesco's entering the second-hand car market. I had visions of a guy with a big Tesco coat on, but they did it, pulled out of it. But when they did that, I just thought to myself, they're running out of ideas. They don't know what to do now. They've got so much cash.
Well, they were doing pizza deliveries since the last 6 months, right? Then they were going into property. So okay, if you don't stick to what you're good at, it goes wrong. We've had 3 profits warnings now, so I'm close to thinking about bottom fishing that stock.
I'm not.
No.
Okay, so we've got 1 minute left in this segment. The trial run. Let's go for.
Any other market? I mean,
let's have a quick look at the FTSE while we're here, shall we? Because obviously it's down another 0.5%. Everybody, including you, Zach, said it was going to go up to 7,200. Okay. After the referendum was out the way, it just goes to show, don't go with the herd. Now, going forwards, we will use the TradeNext software in this segment.
Yeah.
Have you still got problems with that?
I've got glitches on the browser, so it's a bit strange. But back towards the 200-day moving average there on the FTSE. So that's quite a critical level, 67.30 or so there. So really, it has to find support, here to not be looking like it's going to roll over.
Any more sinister? Okay, so that's 20 seconds left. Stephen, any final comments? Anything that?
I think the last couple of days, since the Scotland vote, we've been sort of treading water. When I came on Friday, I said that I see it back down to 63.60. It went a bit lower. We're currently around those sort of levels, cable, and I think we're now fishing around where do we go in cable. So I think cable actually at the moment it'll be a good range trading trade at the moment.
Right.
And it's until we get the new direction. I don't know myself now whether cable's going up or down. Personally, I think we'll probably go towards 66.5 again. But that could all change with any kind of data that's coming out. But euro sterling, like I said, I do like euro sterling slightly higher. So that will probably, I see that going with probably cable not going very far, but the euro maybe trading tad higher, maybe towards 29.5, something like that. But I think that's how I'm going to be looking at it today. But like I say, I don't make my mind up in the morning. So
Okay, Stephen, God bless you. Thank you for that. That was the opening segment of the first trading show. That was a beta test where we just iron out all the nooks and crannies, Zach. We're going to take a quick break. Stephen, you'll be back on Friday on both shows.
Right.
Lucky old you. Right, let's take that quick break. Get Stephen out of the office. He needs to get back to his trading desk at the heart of the city, and we'll be straight back. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Steve Woodcock from TradeNext in association with TipTV. The markets are moving. Let's go.
Okay, welcome back to the morning trading show. This will be on at 8 o'clock to 8:30 every morning, sponsored by our friends at TradeNext. This is a beta test. We've not announced it in the public domain. If you're watching it for the first time, there are gremlins, so just bear with us. In this part two, me and Zach will cover moves in sort of UK equities, okay, and give a technical view on levels to look out for. Hopefully this will add value to your thought process and your trading decisions. Zach, the market this morning, FTSE 100 as we speak is
down. I'll just give you the figures, down 38, 37
points. We've highlighted the 200-day moving average. How key is that in terms of support?
I think basically the message at the moment, if we break 60, that's around 67.30. If we break that, we are probably then going to 6,600.
Okay.
That's what happened last month in August. We did this. We did that sort of thing. We flipped around from, as you can see, that below the 200-day moving average. We went to 65.50. So on this occasion, probably 6,600. Another 100 points, 150 points could be their downside. Not looking very good today because it's not only Tesco which is pulling the market down. Tesco down another 2% below the key £2 level.
But is that a key level, or is that just a psychological round?
Well, I think it was very easy yesterday for people to buy it at the £2 level and think they're very clever.
Crowded longs.
Yes, exactly, as you suggested yesterday. But we do have the drug stocks, which are quite heavyweight, weighing on the market. Shire down 6%, Astra down 5%. I think that might be news. I saw some news earlier on about the US authorities trying to move to get rid of this tax inversion ploy, and that's really hurt the market as well. So the market's been a bit unlucky at the moment, if you see what I mean, in terms of Tesco and the drug stocks. But good. I mean, there's good momentum here on the short side, and that was one of the ideas of having the early show, is that we hopefully try and catch some of these moves, or flag these moves as they happen.
Let's have a quick. Can we look at the Tesco's on the chart and just see if we can work out what the key level is now they've busted the £2?
Yeah, if there is a level to, let's just try and get that on there.
It was suggested by a fundamental guy overnight, something I read. He thought around 180 was going to be the level.
Well, the problem is apparently we're at like 11-year lows. So the next level down really is towards 160, 170. So I don't see after. With this massive top that you can see here. I mean, this is a massive top, isn't it? I mean, you don't have to be a sort of a
rocket scientist like you are.
Rocket scientist to that. And this low here, if I can try and get the actual level, looks to be sort of around.
Well, it looks.
It's 170 or so. So 158. I think I've got the low there, 158. So on that basis, I don't see why the share should stop, before that level. As I was saying earlier, when I said 240 as the target when they were £3, I was trying to soften the blow, but I don't think there's any point softening the blow at the moment because it just looks like the fundamentals are now in place for such a low.
Let's have a quick look at Rio's. We were talking about we were looking at a horrible chart yesterday on the daily.
Yeah, a little bit better actually today in terms. I think the China news is a little bit better in terms of that, but still.
Is that a weekly chart?
That's a daily chart. That's a daily chart.
What's pound 1 week candles?
Oh right, sorry. But you've got basically. I'll try and change that. I shouldn't know why it's on that setting. We have. All right, so we're on the daily one now, 1 day candles. And basically you had the gap down yesterday. We're still within the range of yesterday, but it's difficult, below yesterday's high, which was 31.30.
You'd be short.
You'd be looking for 30. So it's a sort of decent risk-reward trade there, risking 40p to make.
Interesting. You've got 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gaps. First time mentioned on the first trading show, the JJ Murphy book. Worth looking at gaps and trading the gaps. In terms of the leaderboard, have we got anything leading the market this morning?
I will try and get that. We have let's just try and redo that. We have the miners.
Can we just pull up Prudential, because we had Richards from Hargreaves came in, and that was his stock pick a while ago. Has that done much in recent days and weeks?
I mean, it's been a solid uptrend here. I think that you'd probably above the 50-day moving average, you'd be looking for a retest of those highs. But it looks generally, it's found support at old resistance, so it's looking quite solid.
So at this point in the show, we'd be asking you to Twitter in, or tweet in, I should say. You can show that I'm old and grey, and we would take viewer requests, and do a roundup, I guess, on the minnows, the stocks that are on the leaderboards.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would sort of want to look at the bigger movers of the day. I think just to see what is on there on the Tate & Lyle. I think I've had a profits warning. Mothercare also, I think, looking rather unhealthy as well. So they're leading the all share on the downside. Tate & Lyle was a sort of potential bid candidate
for the last 10 years.
Yeah, for the last 10 years. Hardly anything on the upside there. Aquarius Platinum looking a bit better, but
so the market's under a little bit of pressure.
The market is under a lot of pressure this morning. Yes.
Right, that wraps up our first beta test trading show. We're here 8 a.m. every morning. We will be putting out a press release later this week once we've ironed out all the software, the technical issues, and the new people behind the camera. That was the first show. Hopefully you're going to go, wow, really like that concept of us covering the market movers on the open. So same time tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Don't tell your friends for another 24 hours, just while we get our house in order. Have a good day. We'll be back at 10 a.m. tiptv.co.uk. Thank you.
That was the TradeNext TipTV Foreign Exchange Show, Monday to Friday, 8 till 8:30.
Hope you can join us again. Hopefully we'll make some money together. Thanks very much.